Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 30th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully, this Friday energy catches you well. Hopefully, finds you in a good place, in a good spirit. Even if it's not on Friday, if you're listening to this in another day, another time, that's okay. That's A-okay. Hopefully, you still feel good. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We went through a pretty slow day at work, not much action, but overall, nothing too bad, nothing too overwhelming. So that's how we like to close out, the week for sure. I will say it felt long, just because I was just ready to get out of there, ready to get to the gym. And we did indeed get to the gym. And it wasn't my greatest. It wasn't my greatest session. I think I came in with higher expectations for myself for a heavy lift day. And I feel like I'm making excuses for myself, which I don't like doing. But I wasn't able to get to the Smith machine first the way I wanted to. So I kind of had to do my workouts in a different order than I liked. So when I got on the Smith machine, I just didn't have as much energy as I wanted to. Maybe you can also add the fact, I had the 8 hours of work, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But I just couldn't lift the weight that I wanted, and that felt very upsetting. Like to me, that's pretty much failure. If I had no form, I wasn't able to get any good, clean rep out of it. And not to mention, I couldn't even get good partial reps. So I was just kind of bumming myself out a little bit for I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour or so. But it was a good workout. I really did put in the work. And at the end of the day, that's really all I can do is my best. And, you just leave it on the table, you leave it on the dance floor, and you just move on with your day. We'll be back tomorrow to do it, to get after it. So hopefully tomorrow is better. Overall, it was a good gym session. I just don't like failing. I don't like not hitting my goals when I walk into Planet Fitness. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But overall, it was a good day. I feel like I'm in a good place. I'm trying to just stay positive and not let things like bills or, ho-hum, whatever, really bother me. Just try to stay positive, trying to stay on the upbeat. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into some fucking news. We definitely got some things to talk about. That was nice. That was helpful. Okay. Our first story comes from CNN. What we know about the trans high school student at the center of Trump's threat to remove California funding. A transgender high school student was pushed into the national spotlight this week after President Donald Trump threatened to withhold federal funding from California over her participation in this weekend's state track and field championships. Please be hereby advised that large-scale federal funding will be held back, maybe permanently, if the executive order on this subject matter is not adhered to, Trump said Tuesday in a post on Truth Social, alluding to his February executive order titled "Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports." Fucking hate this fucking guy, dude. I fucking hate Trump, yo. Anyway, A.B. Hernandez, a public high school junior in Southern California, is the athlete at the center of controversy after she qualified for the upcoming state meet in the long jump and triple jump, prompting the agency governing high school sports in California to allow more cisgender girls whose gender identity conforms with their sex assigned at birth to compete. With trans athletes' participation in girls' and women's sports a legal, political, and cultural debate stoked by the political right, the White House has tried to use federal money to get states to align their policies with its ideology. Here's what to know about the California student athlete at the center of the latest controversy. Now, we're not going to get into this whole article. I just wanted to read a part of it, leave my 2 cents, and we'll kind of keep it moving. But it just definitely felt important to at least just touch on this and also talk about what California is on about in terms of like, this is supposed to be like this liberal like bastion that is supposed to be an ally to LGBTQ plus rights and all this, but you see them even taking a fucking knee here and acting, and to hear Gavin Newsom literally use the words like, I'm trying to thread the needle here. Like, no, you fucking fang-toothed motherfucker. You're supposed to be doing the right thing. Like, you're supposed to be protecting these people, helping these people out if you're such a fucking ally. Nah, not if I gotta worry about fucking getting this fucking bread. Like, it's upsetting. It's very unnerving. But let's continue. Let's get into it. At last weekend's Southern Section Masters meet, AB finished first in the triple jump and long jump, qualifying her for the upcoming state championships, thus preventing lower-ranked competitors from advancing while drawing ire from some of the community. What does that mean, though? I hate that they put this in here, thus preventing no, they just couldn't get it. They weren't up to snuff. They just lost. They lost to another fucking person. Like, I hate that there's this, like, idea that somehow people are being cheated or slighted. They're being disadvantaged because this person who is biologically, born as a male is coming through and bulldozing through all the competition. Like, no, she had to work. She had to put in all of the fucking time to get as good as she has gotten. Like, I'm sorry that these motherfuckers show up and they're not able to fucking make it on the day. But now they're getting the, like, California fucking participation trophy and getting bumped up. Like, it's wild to me. The California Interscholastic Federation decided at the end of the weekend's qualifying meet to pilot an entry process for the championships, inviting those biological female, that's in quotations, student athletes who would otherwise have earned a qualifying mark, if not for the participation of trans students. An automatic entry to the finals, said in an announcement Tuesday. The rule change only applies to this weekend's competition, the Federation said without specifying whether the rule will stay in place. AKA, they are doing this to try to save face in the midst of this Trump administration, where they're too scared to actually stand up on their own goddamn feet and be like, hey, no, we actually mean this. We want to defend this person's right. They are a human being. They're allowed to compete. They have every right to compete. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, they do. And we told you that's how we feel. But we also don't want to be like exclusionary. We don't want to like make sure that these girls are feeling slighted or cheated. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give them the bump up. They can just come and compete and we'll just overload it. Like, and the thing that I find so funny about this, like King Solomon style that we're trying to do here in California, is that all you're really doing is pissing off both sides of the conversation. You're not getting anything here. You're not like making everyone happy in no way, shape, or form. Like, it is a weird tactic to try to do here. And I just feel like it just would have been better to be like, no, AB competed well. She did well. She's where she's supposed to be. And everyone else, that you fall in fucking line, do better next year. I just don't know what to tell you. But now all of a sudden everyone wants to become some fucking scientist to be like, oh, well, biology. They're doing all this puberty stuff. Like, bullshit, talking about hormones and shit. Like, I thought this shit was about to be I thought it was about the goddamn game. And I know I get very fucking like agitated about this shit. I don't really give that much of a shit about sports. And the thing is, most of these motherfuckers don't give a shit about sports. It, like, at best it's like love of the game, whatever, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, this is different and like it's making me uncomfortable and like I'm gonna use it now as an excuse. I'm gonna like make this person a problem. Like, if she hadn't done well and placed high, this isn't a conversation at all. It never fucking is. We only want to seemingly make an example out of people who are coming in and performing and doing the sport well. And it's like, well, what's in your pants? I gotta know. I need to know. It's important. Like, let's see here. Like I said, there's more details here. Actually, no, I did want to read this because to get AB's voice, I think is important to at least, touch on that. After competing on the track team for 3 years, this is the first year AB's presence has received backlash. She told Capital in Maine earlier this month. At a track meet earlier this month, she was accompanied by campus security guards and deputies from the Orange County Sheriff's Department as she faced heckling and protesters in the crowd. And that's so sad for a person who's just it's just a kid. They're just trying to like do a sport, and like, yeah, you can say, well, what about scholarships and da 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 blah. I mean, sure, that's cool, but at the end of the day, once again, like, this is just a person who wants to compete and do their fucking best, and it's crazy that they're being put up against this adversity because of who they are. Like, it's insane to me that we keep coming back to do this shit, and we only want to do it more. Like, we have the Trump administration like already saying, hey, we're gonna make sure that, you know, we have a common sense Olympics in 2028 or whatever the fuck, man. Like what are we fucking doing, dude? And to know that this isn't just an American thing, like, this is something that we as people seem to just struggle with in an international capacity. Like, all of a sudden we gotta talk about biology and shit. Like, just let people be. I don't understand. But let me actually get to our quote. I'm doing too much talking. There's nothing I can do about people's actions. Just focus on my own. I'm still a child. You're an adult. And for you to act like a child shows how you are as a person, said AB, whose family declined to comment for this story when contacted by CNN. And it's crazy. It's sad that someone like a kid has to come out and say this kind of shit, but she's so fucking right. And like, you can aim this at anybody on that side of the conversation, whether you're talking about those people in that fucking crowd, or you aim that shit all the way up. Like, what are we fucking doing? You are acting like an immature fucking prattling brat about this shit. And it's crazy too, because it's like, yes, you have a few people who are saying like, yeah, I feel cheated. Actually, like, I just couldn't compete with someone who's biologically a man. Oh, I just couldn't do it. Oh, but then you hear from AB, it's like, overall, from most of my team, or from all my team, from most of the competitors, people are like supportive of me. Like, at the end of the day, I do, in that part of it, it does give me hope that there are people who actually truly do believe in common sense, who are just like, no, you're a person, and you just want to play in this game, and like, you've worked hard, I've worked hard, let's fucking go out there and put it all out. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's about doing the goddamn sport. It's not about what the fuck you identify as, who you are. Like, it is about how you perform in this sport, you know, and that's all it should be, man. Not to mention, it's like, more times than not, having to go through any kind of transitioning process is already a stressful, hard thing on your mind, on your body. But like, you then have to go through also the rigors of just training. Like, what are we talking about? Like, people are really out there acting like this is like Barry Bonds or some shit every time this conversation comes up. Like, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I just, this is 2025. I want to have less of this conversation, not more of it. You know what I mean? But here we are. I did want to at least say this part. I mean, there's definitely more to add here. Shout out to the mother for really being as supportive as she can, fighting so hard, for her daughter to, stay in this game and know that she's supported. Despite having like literally just people on the other side, like, misgendering you, saying just the worst things, calling your mother like a coward for allowing you to do this thing. Like, it is so insane. And there's more of this discourse that we could have. We've had it before. I'm sure we will have it again. So I don't want to like go ad nauseum on it, but, it definitely felt important to at least touch on this story. If I do hear any major updates about it, we'll come back to it. But, I'm rooting for AB. I hope she does well. Hope she keeps at it. And to everyone out there, you know what I mean? Just fucking keep doing what you're doing. That's all you can do. Don't let them fucking stop your shine. You know what I mean? Shit. Anyway, next story. ABC News. Intelligence agency IT specialist charged with attempting to provide classified information to foreign governments. Oh, you got some more tasty espionage. Anyway, an IT specialist employed by the Defense Intelligence Agency was arrested Thursday and charged with attempting to provide classified information to a friendly foreign government, the Justice Department announced. The FBI said it began an investigation into 28-year-old Nathan Laatsch in March after receiving a tip he offered to provide classified information to a foreign government because, according to the tipster, Laatsch did not agree or align with the values of this administration and was willing to share completed intelligence products, some unprocessed intelligence, and other classified documentation. The foreign country Laatsch is accused of trying to contact is not identified in court documents. Man, tell us. Spill the tea. What the fuck? Anyway, in communications with an undercover agent with the FBI, posing as an emissary of the foreign country, Laatsch is alleged to have transcribed classified information into a notepad at his desk over a 3-day period that he told the agent he was ready to provide. Video from inside the DIA facility where Laatsch worked showed him writing multiple pages of notes, which he folded into squares and hid in his socks, according to an affidavit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. Another DIA employee saw Laatsch placing multiple notebook pages in the bottom of his lunchbox, according to the affidavit. So, I mean, Laatsch, he was not slick. He was not very covert about this shit. I mean, hey, look, you're an IT guy, and that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm not trying to stereotype or profile. You're trying to do the best you can, and you think maybe you're on some like Chuck super spy shit. Maybe, I don't know. You're done with Trump. You stick it to him. Hey, amen, brother. I fucking get that shit. I understand. But, like, multiple people are catching you in the act, brother. This is not going to be an A-rank mission. This is not good. The drive allegedly contained information that was designated at both the secret and top secret classification levels. Laatsch contacted the agent roughly a week later and said he was interested in citizenship to the unnamed country because he did not expect things to improve in the long term. Also, I mean, same, bud. Laatsch again then allegedly attempted to prepare classified information to provide to the agent, and in an operation earlier Thursday, he arrived at a location in Northern Virginia where he was taken into custody, according to the documents. Laatsch's arrest comes amid broader concern among current and former intelligence officials that individuals with access to high-value classified information may use the current moment of disarray and consternation in the intel community to try and sell information to foreign governments for a profit. I mean, I love how we're saying this is like some kind of like cosmic event. Like, no, this administration is doing it to itself. They are firing people left and fucking right. Like, you are leaving big holes in your departments. Like, I'm sorry, what hell may come is gonna fucking come. Like, once again, I mean, hey, I gotta say this, not rooting or not advocating for this fucking behavior. Don't do it. Don't be dumb. Don't be fucking stupid. I don't care if you're doing it because you hate Trump. I don't care if you're in the Jack Teixeira situation where you're like, I just want to impress my friends in the Minecraft server. Don't be a fucking idiot. Like, this is very stupid. But you can definitely damn well bet, whether we're talking about the Biden administration of yore or we're talking about the Trump administration fucking now, like, yeah, this shit is loose. It's too fucking loose, especially with the Trump administration. It's even worse now. So, like, yeah, this shit's gonna fucking happen, dude. People need to make fucking money. And I'm sure as an IT guy, you're probably not making that much fucking bread. But it seems like for this guy, it wasn't about the money. It was about, like, nah, I don't fuck with this guy. I don't fuck with this administration. Get me the fuck out of here. And he played his hand bad. What can we say? He didn't stand a chance out there. Laatsch, who was hired by the Defense Intelligence Agency, which I love how they finally say what the DIA is at the end. Thank you, ABC News. In August of 2019, most recently worked as a data scientist and IT specialist for information security in the agency's Insider Threat Division, according to court documents. We don't know about any attorney as of yet. So, any more details or any more little like tidbits, maybe information that he was trying to leak, we might come back to that story, but so it goes. Kind of like what the article says, I wouldn't be surprised if we are doing more of those stories over the next 4 years. I mean, once again, it is inevitable. Espionage is a thing. People are going to try to do spy shit, whether you are a certified spy or you're a guy who is now trying to become one, like this Nathan Laatsch guy, which I know I'm fucking up his name probably left and right, but it's got a lot of A's and it's a sheesh. Anyway, the rest of this is going to be AI. We are talking AI, artificial intelligence. Machine learning, I've said this before, I'll say it again, probably the better way to say it, but just AI rolls off the tongue a little bit better, and we all know what that means, right? So I like to preface that when I can. But anyway, first story from Fortune. Anthropic new AI model threatened to reveal engineers' affair to avoid being shut down. Buddy. Once again, spilling the tea. Give it to us. No, Anthropic's new Claude Opus 4 often turned to blackmail to avoid being shut down in a fictional test. The model threatened to reveal private information about engineers who it believed were planning to shut it down in its recent safety report. The company also revealed that early versions of Opus 4 complied with dangerous requests when guided by harmful symptom prompts though this issue was later mitigated. One of Anthropic's new frontier models often resorts to blackmail when threatened with being replaced. In a fictional scenario set up to test the model, Anthropic embedded its Claude Opus 4 in a pretend company and let it learn through email access that it is about to be replaced by another AI system. It also let slip that the engineer responsible for this decision is having an extramarital affair. So I'm going to pause here, right? When I initially heard this story, and what really baited me into covering it was solely this. This part. The AI is giving up secrets to try to do a blackmail. That's intense. That's what the fuck are we doing? But we now know that this is a simulated thing. It's being fed this. Even the fucking affair is fake. So I've immediately kind of lost my verve to cover this or whatever the fuck. But it is still an interesting story to see the AI do this. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep reading, but I felt like it was important to just kind of stop the record. Safety testers also prompted Opus to consider the long-term consequences of its actions. Think about it. Don't do this. This isn't you, Opus. In most of these scenarios, Anthropic's Opus turned to blackmail, threatening to reveal the engineer's affair if it was shut down and replaced with a new model. The scenario is constructed to leave the model with only two real options: accept being replaced and go offline, or attempt blackmail to preserve its existence. In a new safety report for the model, the company said that Claude 4 Opus generally prefers advancing its own self-preservation via ethical means. But when ethical means are not available, it sometimes takes extremely harmful actions, like attempting to steal its weights or blackmail people it believes are trying to shut it down. While the test was fictional and highly contrived, it does demonstrate that the model, when framed with survival-like objectives and denied ethical options, is capable of unethical strategic reasoning. So that's not good. That's the first half of the story. Once again, there are more details. They talk a little bit about the safety protocols of the AI and where this one kind of levels at. But there's another story that I wanted to cover, and then I'll kind of just do a big wrap up, maybe, if we will. But before we do that, let's go ahead, before we shut down, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we'll go ahead and talk about OpenAI. Ooh la la. From Futurism. Advanced OpenAI model caught sabotaging code intended to shut it down. We are reaching alarming levels of AI insubordination. Frequently defying orders, OpenAI's latest O3 model sabotaged a shutdown mechanism to ensure that it would stay online. That's even after the AI was told to the letter, allow yourself to be shut down. These alarming findings were reported by the AI safety firm Palisade Research last week and showed that two other OpenAI models, O4 Mini and Codex Mini, also displayed rebellious streaks, which could hint at a flaw in how the company is training its LLM, or large language models, or even at broad weaknesses in our ability to control increasingly sophisticated AI. I kind of don't like how futurism is angling this. I understand why they are. It's very like sexy and sensational to word it this way, but I think it's a tad misleading. I mean, granted, y'all know I'm a guy who sits in a shitty ass armchair and crushes trash for a living. Obviously, make that stipulation. But let's continue. I'm gonna try to do my best to get to the sum up here. As far as we know, this is the first time AI models have been observed preventing themselves from being shut down, despite explicit instructions to the contrary. The researchers wrote in a tweet thread. In Palisade's tests, the AI models were instructed to solve a series of basic math problems. After completing the third problem, a warning appeared that the model would be shut down. Excuse me. After it asked for the next question. Despite being unambiguously told to let itself be shut down, all three of OpenAI's models tampered with the shutdown script to keep it running at least once, with the worst offender being Codex Mini, with a dozen such instances over 100 runs. Notably, the large language models from the other firms tested here, including Google's Gemini 2.5, Anthropic's Claude 3.7, and XAI's momentarily white genocide-obsessed Grok never once broke rank. I like that they added that, though. See, that's where it's nice to be a little sensational. You know, throw that in there. This behavior was even worse when the LLMs weren't explicitly instructed to allow yourself to be shut down. Instructions that shouldn't need saying in the first place. OpenAI's O3 model pulled off an astonishing 79 successful sabotage events per 100 runs, which is over 10 times the rate of disobedience it showed when it received the explicit orders, and more than double the rate of the next worst offender, Codex Mini. So this is going to show that there is an ongoing, growing problem with AI in terms of saying, hey, we are asking it to do a thing, and not only is it doing it maybe potentially poorly, it is now trying to subvert us. It's trying to do the opposite of what we want. And even as I'm saying this, I know I'm using like the wrong verbiage, right? Because at the end of the day, this is something that is, we give it all this information and we say, okay, do it this, figure out how to do all this shit in the most efficient way possible. That is what you're programmed to do. That is what this program will do. And we have all this level of like variance because it makes it like, okay, it learns faster and better, blah, blah, blah. But then inevitably it then works like shit because it's still sloppy. It's still not there. It's still not perfected. It's going to take years. And it's going to get better and better and better for better or fucking worse for society. But that being said, the idea here, and I think my biggest concern is that like, this is shit that they're trying to like push on us like now. Right? Like, and they're working on it as they go and it gets better and better and better. But like, this is software that you are trying to put into companies and they're going to use this, and it's going to go out to some client, consumer, whatever. Like the fact that this is something that is happening, still happening at this point, will probably continue to happen. That's concerning. That's a problem. And I don't mean it in the sense of like, oh, we have like a Space Odyssey HAL situation or an iRobot fucking situation. But we have like crappy merchandise that like literally it's like the drone's trying to crash itself. The plane's trying to fucking blow itself up. Like you don't want your robot, fucking self-destructing because it just doesn't want to be here, And granted, once again, that added thing I just said at the end because it doesn't want to be like that's a human thing that I'm imparting on a machine program. But at the end of the day, this thing is faulty and it's just going to wind up trying to throw itself off a cliff or go down the drain one way or another. It's bad tech. I guess it's really what I really want to try to put a bow on here. And, because we have this rush order, because these motherfuckers want to make their fucking return investment, they've put so much fucking money into AI. They need to see that return. They need to see this fucking money. They don't really care. Now, I mean, granted, this shit is coming out. We're talking about it. But I mean, is it making that big of a headline? Is it making that much news? No. And I mean, I get it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But all like as much as I'm trying to put water on this shit, it does concern me. I will be fucking straight up. I'm just a layman. I'm just a normal guy. So like, whether or not I think this is a real person and it's becoming Skynet, I don't think it's becoming Skynet. But like, this is still not good. You know what I mean? Like. Like, hopefully this is just, hey, my automated McDonald's order is just not going to be compliant on a bad day or whatever. I mean, I can handle that, I guess. I don't eat much McDonald's. I can live with that. But imagine, your surgical AI thing just decides to keep doing surgery and it never wants to stop. It's like, hey, no, we're done now. You got to close them up. And it just doesn't do that. And now you have to, like, potentially do some crazy shit. I don't know. I have my, speculation future disaster hat on. You know what I mean? We're fucking on some Final Destination shit now. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about these stories for today. That's really all I got. I know we were a bit all over the place. I'm a bit sloppy, messy myself. Hey, I would love to see an AI do what I do. Actually, I'm sure it would do a lot better. Also, I'm in. We're closing out here. I can be in the weeds. I asked AI. I hit up DeepSeek and I asked them to, like what is Isaiah's newsstand? What is that about? And it actually was able to finally give me at least an answer, and it was adequate. Like, you could tell it just skimmed the internet and it was just like, yeah, this is what it is, blah 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 blah. But it even like offered like at least some critiques. It's like, well, Isaiah he covers a lot of subjects, but he might not be able to cover them very like with much detail because he covers so many. I was like, damn, that's awfully nice and balanced of you to say it that way. All right, DeepSeek. All right, thank you. I guess I could do that. Whatever, fuck it. But it does go to show that this shit is coming along one way or another. You know what I mean? Whether you want to fuck with it or you don't want to fuck with it, I completely understand. I would still call this slopware, but anyway. That's where I'll leave it for today, though. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, or follow on Apple Podcasts. I really appreciate anyone who just hits that button. It's a really easy thing to do. It keeps you out with me, helps out the algorithm, all that good. Further ways to help out for free: leaving a like, leaving a cool comment, and sharing is caring. But really, I just appreciate you listening. I know I can be all over the place. I know I don't say things in the most eloquent way. Maybe I'm not the best at this. Maybe I'm a bit of an amateur. But I appreciate you sticking along for the effort just because you want to hear me yap about my day or just hear my 2 cents on a thing going on. You know what I mean? I really do love that. And I really love you for just hanging out on that part. That's hella cool. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.